In this session, we will emphasize on the aspects of process management. We will also look at how the existence of multiple processes is dealt with in distributed system. So we start our discussion with threads. So what do you understand by a thread? So basically when we say a thread is nothing but a mini process. Now, why these threads were introduced or why they were invented? So basically, these threads were invented to allow parallelism so that they could be combined with sequential execution. Now, when we talk about threads, this thread runs strictly sequentially and has its own program counter. And it also maintains a stack so that we can keep a track about the threads. Now the threads also share the CPU just like the other processes do. But in a time sharing system, the first thread executes and then the other. But on a multiprocessor system, they actually run in parallel. Now thread can also create a child thread. So basically what a thread is doing over here is it forks a process. Okay. Some more points on threads. Now when one thread is blocked, another thread in the same process can run in exactly the same way that when one process blocks. So basically the mechanism of execution is similar to that of processes. Now different threads in a process are quite as independent as different processes. So each thread is independent. Now with respect to the address space, all the threads have exactly the same address space, which means that they share the same global variables as the processes do. And finally, every thread can access every virtual address. One thread can read, write, or evenly completely wipe out other threads' stack. So this was a simple introduction to threads. Now let's see some examples of threads. Now here we have a machine with 3 processes and each of the process is having a single thread. So now in this case each process has its own program counter has its own stack and its own register set. And also its own address space. The processes have nothing to do with each other, except that they may be able to communicate through system inter-process communication primitives. Okay, so they can communicate via semaphores, monitors, or messages. We'll look at another model. Here we have one process with 3 threads. So one process and n number of threads in that same process. So only this process contains multiple threads of control, also called as the lightweight processes. So basically threads were invented to allow parallelism to be combined with sequential execution. We will see three different models of thread usage. The first model is the dispatcher model, also called as the worker model. Then we'll discuss about the second model, that is the team model, and finally the pipeline model. Okay. Starting with the first model, okay, that is the dispatcher, also called as the worker model. Now we will consider our client server example, as we have seen in the previous sessions. So this is our file server. Okay, we have the kernel over here, so this becomes our kernel, server kernel, and this is the server. Okay, so this is our file server process. In the file server process, you can see that there is something called as the dispatcher thread and something called as the worker threads. Further, we can also see a block of cache which is shared by all the workers. And in the kernel space of the server, we have the mailbox where the request arrives. So at the beginning, when a request arrives in the mailbox, what the dispatcher thread will do is, it will read the incoming request for work in the mailbox. So that is the job of the dispatcher thread, of reading the incoming request. So once the request is read by the dispatcher thread, it will choose an idle worker from this set of workers and hand it that particular job to an idle worker thread. So basically it will write a pointer to a message into a special word associated with each thread. So basically what happens over here is, once the request arrives in the mailbox, the dispatcher thread will read the request and then assign that particular task to one of the idle threads. Next, so now once the dispatcher wakes up the sleeping or the idle worker, so when the worker wakes up, it will check to see if the request that it has been received, it can be satisfied based upon the shared block cache to which all the worker threads have an access to. If yes, it will execute that particular task. So this is the working of the dispatcher model or the worker model. So we have, it is kind of a hierarchy. There is a superior thread and there are subordinate threads. So this is called as the dispatcher thread and these are the worker threads. So finally the scheduler will now be invoked and another thread will be started. So possibly it will be the dispatcher in order to acquire more work or possibly another worker that is now ready to run. So it will follow the same process henceforth. The next model is the team model. Now this is not like the previous model. There is no dispatcher thread. All the threads are equal. They are of the same level. And each thread over here gets a request and it will process that particular request. Now there are cases wherein sometimes one of the thread may be not able to handle certain kind of jobs, because certain threads might be designed to specially handle some specific type of tasks. So in that case, let us assume that this particular thread is designed to perform a specific task 1 and this specific task 2. So it can handle only task of type 1 and this can handle only of task of type 2. So in this case what it will do is, it will maintain something called as a job queue. So all the pending works will be kept in the job queue. So now what this particular thread has to do is, it has to continuously keep on checking the job queue before looking into the mailbox. So if there are any special tasks which are there, it will pick up from the job queue and execute it. This is the working of the team model. Finally, we move towards the last model, that is the pipeline model. I can understand by looking at the figure how the pipeline works. It takes the input from the kernel, executes it, passes to the next thread, executes it, passes to the next thread. So basically in this pipeline model, the first thread over here generates some data and then it passes that data to the next thread for further processing. So the data continues from thread to thread with processing going on at each step. So basically this type of model is not suitable for file servers, but it can be used for problems such as the producer-consumer problem. So basically this type of pipelining model is used in RISC CPUs. So we basically have seen three models. The first one was the dispatcher worker model, the second one the team model, and finally the pipeline model. So basically threads can be implemented in these three fashions.